Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. Today we are going to prepare for our winter sowing project. So you can see here I have a lot of supplies. It is a very simple process, and winter sowing is an amazing way to get all of your seeds growing and started long before spring is here. So let me tell you a little bit about it and why you should try it too. So winter sowing is amazing because we just are going to make little mini greenhouses out of these plastic containers, and we're going to set them outside without the top on and just let them be. And when the time comes, they will sprout all on their own and they will grow up, and sometimes even out of these bottles they create really healthy plants. They are very sturdy because they've been grown outside. Don't worry about your temperatures. I am here in zone 6A, 6B, and I don't have any problems with, and you can see right now there's snow outside. We got 3 to 4 inches last night, and we have more snow coming on the way. So that doesn't hinder this process at all. The temperatures are completely regulated inside of our little greenhouse, and when they get to the right temperature, the seeds will sprout all on their own. It is absolutely amazing. I do start some of my seeds under lights, and I will show you that. We're going to do a comparison this year. I'm going to do some of the exact same seeds under lights versus winter sowing, and I have done this before, and I can promise you the winter sowing is going to win. You'll see. It starts off slow, but it catches up really fast. So anyway, let me tell you some of the things that I have here and what you're going to need to be able to do this process too. So we went to Menards and we got this organic seed starter with Coco Core. That's an amazing product that really holds water in. So this is the type that I always use. And I have 4 seeds that I'm going to start with today. 3 are tomato varieties and 1 is peppers. So that's what we're going to work with. And then of course we have our garden stakes. And I am going to write on the outside of our container, but I'm also going to write on the inside just in case we lose that writing. And then I have a really sharp knife that I'm going to use to cut open these. And I had Rob's office save these for me so that I can use them as my little greenhouses. You can use anything else that is see-through in plastic. You can use orange juice containers, you can use milk jugs. And then I have some pea gravel here that is gonna kind of weigh down the bottom of our plastic. And then I am using my husband's drill because I am going to need to put holes in the bottom of these containers so that we have some drainage. And then of course some tape to put it all back together. So let's get started. So first things first, we need to open this up so that we can plant inside of it. And you just want to make sure that you're not cutting too low on your container because you want enough space for your roots and stuff to grow and to be able to plant in. So I usually go right around like the top third to just the top half at least. Be careful with this process. The hardest part is just getting the knife in and started. After that, it's loud, but it's easy. And I don't cut it all the way off. I leave just a little hinge like this. The next step is using a drill, and we just simply want to push through the bottom. And you can see that's a pretty decent sized hole, but we just want some drain. So when you're done, you just definitely want a bunch of holes so that you make sure all of that water is draining out, and then you don't get any molding inside your dirt. So now that we have our little container ready, you can take the top off like this, and really you can just throw that part away. We will not ever need it. If we do have a snowstorm and I've already got these outside, I might cover them all with a blanket, especially as we get deeper into spring. And that'll just protect them from any kind of freezer burn. But you definitely want airflow so that you don't get any mold inside of your container. So you're not going to need that anymore. Okay, so our next step, now that we've done that, is just make sure you get all those plastic pieces that we used to drill out, because we don't want any of that in our soil. So just make sure you empty all that out. And then our next step is we're just going to take a little bit of our gravel and put it down in the bottom. This helps with drainage, but it also helps weigh down our containers, because as we get into the months where we get thunderstorms, I experience sometimes where these get a little light and they tip over. So you don't want that to happen. Make sure that you have a little bit of gravel to weigh down your container. Our next step is our wonderful seed starting dirt. So I'm going to cut this open across the top. And if I were outside, I would probably take this and put it into a bucket and then just add some water to it to get it nice and moist. It is 17 degrees is the high today. The feels like temperature is 10 here in the Midwest. So I am not outside and I don't have access to my buckets and things like that. So today I'm just going to use my spray bottle, so I'll make sure that I get it nice and moist before we plant our seeds. But our next step is to put this soil right inside of our container. So now that I have about 4 to 5 inches of soil in here, I am going to plant my seeds. Yay! These are from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed, and they are the classic beef steak tomato. We absolutely love these for fresh eating. They are the taste of summer. So I'm really excited even just thinking about planting these. They're amazing. I do have about 30 seeds in a packet here. I am not going to plant all of them, but I probably will put at least 10 to 15 in this space. I know that sounds like a lot for such a small area, but I have done this year after year and it works out perfectly. And this, because we used the Cocoa Core organic seed starter, it makes the soil really soft and really easy to work with. So when it's time to plant out in the spring, I will take the top off of these actually a couple weeks before we get started and allow them just to live out of the container in the sunlight on my deck. And then a couple weeks after that, I will start to transplant. And they're so easy to just take your hand, scoop them in, and kind of filter them out. I know we don't really want to disrupt the roots of our plants normally when we are planting things, but this is a really easy way to get these into the ground, and because the soil is so loose, it really doesn't disturb much. And I have done this year after year and I promise it works. So just hang tight, you'll see, you'll get the best tomato plants out of this process. So here I have my seeds. I'm gonna shake out a couple for you. You can see they are nice, they look very viable, and we are going to put them into here. So I usually just take my finger and make a little hole like this. So that is how many we're going to put in. And you can put 2 seeds per hole if that is how you normally do it. I am going to start with just 1 each because we're in a little bit tighter quarters. All right, so now we're just going to cover the hole nice and gently. Do not push down hard on top of your seeds. You don't want them to get compact into there. They will not survive. So our next step is going to be just to water them in, and I have this nice spray bottle. And just gonna water the top here. And now I'm going to just create a little stake here that I'm gonna put on the inside. So we wanna write classic beef steak. And I'm just gonna slide this in right on the edge. Push it down. Okay, now we get to close it up. And I use this duct tape. I go around a couple times so that it stays on. If you use just one single ply, it won't work. And they do tend to come apart. So I go around a couple times. You just start at one edge here. Scissors, and just make sure that it is sealed all the way through. And then I'm going to write on the top beef steak, and that will probably end up coming off by the time we get to spring. But because I wrote the little steak on the inside, I've got a backup plan. So one down. It's a pretty easy process. It's a set it and forget it type of growing. You're gonna love this. All right, I have a couple more to go, and I'm just gonna show you in a sped up version how I do the rest of them. So it's the exact same process, but I know sometimes it helps to watch it a couple times before you get started on your own. Hardest part is cutting a hole in your container, and you just want to make sure that you are really careful with this process. All right, after you've cleaned up all of your plastic pieces, it's time for your pea gravel. Just like that. And then our dirt. It's nice and fluffy, absolutely perfect. And now we are going to work with our sweetie tomato. All right, and then always label. We have our sweetie tomato. And I'm gonna write that on the top of here as well. There we go. We're gonna take this, put it back on, and tape it. I'm not looking for perfection. I just want to make sure it's not going to come off. And there we go, 2 down. I just forgot to put this inside. Don't worry, we'll make it work. I like that. Oh. All right, that should suffice. right, so now we're just gonna label this guy. I'm gonna put Cali pepper. And this time I'm gonna make sure I put it in the container. And I'm gonna cover each seed. I'm gonna write it on the top. Just like that. And last, my trusty Roma tomato. So you can see this process did not take me that much time. I think that this whole thing was about 30 minutes, and that is because I am filming it for you. If I were just doing this on my own, I'm pretty sure I could have gotten this done in less than 20 minutes. And I have 4 things planted. I've got my Roma tomatoes, a sweetie variety of tomato, which is in perfect timing. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I have a beef steak, and I have my Cali peppers. Now, I am going to do many, many more of these as the weeks come. So by the time I am done planting with my winter sowing, I'll probably have around 30 containers, maybe more, full of different varieties of plants. I will also do my beans this way. I really love to start off my beans like this. And they tend to do super well because, like I said, they are growing on their own time outside. This is just a mini greenhouse that we have started for them. I don't have a greenhouse right now, so this is a very inexpensive way to create that greenhouse style for yourself to get started with your planting. And like I said, it is hands off. The only thing that I will do is every couple of weeks when I am outside, I will just go and lift each one up, and you can feel by lifting them up whether they need water or not. We did put some rocks in the bottom of each one, but you will see how some of them feel just so much lighter, and that means that they're gonna need a little bit of water. But generally, I don't need to give them too much water. So this isn't something that you need to go outside and tend to all the time. You really can just leave it alone. If you are gonna get sub-zero temperatures or a big snowstorm or anything like that, I might go outside and just put a sheet or a blanket over the top of all of them just for that night. And then I take it off and then just let them be. The cap is not on. I mean, they can be out there in the snow, and I will show you updates as time goes on. We won't see any growth from these for a little bit, but maybe in the next month or so, we'll start to see a couple sprout, and some of the hardier varieties will end up doing that. And then it's just really fun to watch and take part in the process of a greenhouse grown plant. And like I said, there's not a lot of work and not a lot of upkeep for it either. So this is my favorite way to get my seeds started. Last year, I didn't get any plants from the store, not a single one. I grew every plant on my own, and I feel like it was just a really big accomplishment, and winter sowing definitely helped me get there. So try it out and let me know what you think. I do answer every single question that is asked of me on my channel. So if you do have a question, please leave it down below and I would be happy to get to you. I have also started a Facebook group, Sheena's Homestead. It is not a very big group yet, but come on over and join us there, and we're gonna get started on all of these lovely gardening projects for the spring and the summer. So I can't wait to see you there. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you again next time on Sheena's Homestead. Thanks, friends. Bye. Kids are playing outside. We got a snowstorm yesterday, and I'm just gonna show you how we leave these guys out here. So I will put them right here where it's nice and sheltered. They're already gonna get a little bit of sunlight. I have to go grab the other one, but you get the picture. Right there in the snow.